Hey, what's up, guys? How are you? My name is Ivelisse, and welcome to the Affiliate Action and Awareness Podcast, where we take regular people just like you that have had results doing affiliate marketing. So if you find yourself lost or simply confused about how the heck can you get results with affiliate marketing, then you can come on in and take some notes, because I've brought this amazing person that will be able to give you some amazing feedback on how you too can get results with affiliate marketing. And today we have Abigail Smith. Say hi.
Hello, hello.
Awesome. I'm really excited for you because I believe that your transformation has been one of the most, I would say, it's not overnight, but it was something out of the blue. And so if you can tell the audience right now, how did you get started in affiliate marketing, and what happened for you to be able to go from what I know, from working at Dunkin' Donuts to being able to make $5,000 in just 1 week with affiliate marketing?
Yeah, so I started affiliate marketing back in like the end of 2021 while I was in college, and it was a pretty rough start, I'll be completely honest. And I'm sure for everyone else that's watching this, you can probably relate to, you've probably tried a bunch of different things with affiliate marketing, right? And you might be watching this video because you don't have any results yet. That's okay, because I totally understand, where everyone is coming from. Because trust me, that was me for months. To make a long story short, there are so many different things that happened. We would be here for a long time for me to go through my entire story. But to make a long story short, I found Junior Anthony, my mentor now, and I started training with him. And it was 2 weeks after I got started with him, I was able to make my first ever online commission. It was like a couple $100 for an hour's worth of work. And I was working 2 jobs at the time. I was, in college and really busy with a lot of other things in my life, between like church and my family and stuff like that. And so I was like completely blown away, because after all the time I had spent in this, all the doubts, the limiting beliefs, all the time I had spent, all that money I had spent, I was like, man, is this ever really going to work for me? And I'm sure many of you watching this are also thinking the same thing. Right. And so I wanted to share like what Evelise was saying, right? Evelise, you wanted me to share like what brought about then the really drastic change, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
There was something in your performance that went from to, yes, I finally did it. So we want to know, the audience wants to know, what was it that changed? What was the catalyst? If there was anything specifically that happened to you, I would love for you to share with them, so that way they can go ahead and do it for themselves.
Gotcha. Can I first share what it wasn't? Because I think a lot of people watching this might be thinking, oh, well, she went viral on TikTok. That's what happened. It was overnight, right? That's what a lot of people, like their answer is. And the reality is that no, that was not the catalyst of my success. I did not go viral on Instagram or TikTok. That was not the result of my overnight success. What actually happened in myself, like I told you already in my story, right? So I was able to start getting results 2 weeks here. But of course, I was able to get some results here and there, but it was really, what's the word? Not like really spotty results, right? And then
consistent.
I wasn't consistent at all. And that was even after I committed to doing this full time. I still wasn't consistent. So it was a little scary, right? But what really resulted in getting to like that random like 5K in a week, I was like freaking out, was literally all up here in my head. I made a massive mental shift in the way I viewed myself and the way I reviewed the world. And that was what allowed me to have that crazy success in such a short period of time.
That is amazing. There's something that you mentioned, which I think it's very important for people to understand, is that a lot of us, we see Abigail made $5,000 in a week with affiliate marketing. Yes, she finally got the result. However, they're not really seeing what happened in order for you to get to that point.
Right.
And I believe something really important that you mentioned was your limiting beliefs. I know that you had a lot of limiting beliefs, especially around money, which prevented you from performing at the best of your abilities. Can you share some of those beliefs that you had that perhaps they might currently have that could help them?
Yeah. So to give a little context behind the beliefs I'll share with you guys, like how I grew up, I have really amazing, family and parents. But we've never had much money. Like it was always struggling, paycheck to paycheck, always overhearing my parents. I'm the oldest in my family. So I was always like privy and like hearing my parents like worries and like stressing out about money. So that was what I carried, was always like money is something that's stressful. You keep it, if you can try and make as much as you can, you keep it in your bank, hold it there. I became so attached to money in a way where it would I had such extreme emotions when it came like towards it. I didn't really even know like where it was coming from. And I'll also say too, like the ideas around money that are just in my culture as a whole, even within my, my church is absolutely amazing. I love God, but some of the things that are kind of the overall things that are taught about money that are actually not biblical at all. But they're being taught as like a biblical way of looking at life. So I had a lot of things where it's just like, man, it feels bad. It feels like it's always bad to make money. And I still have some people and influences in my life to this day that still kind of think, oh, she's just chasing money, sort of thing. And so those are a lot of the beliefs. Is just like, it's hard to make money. It's hard for people to become successful. And if you are successful, you're walking on a very thin line between the money completely corrupting you and you using it for bad things or making you prideful or, doing, finances are good, but, again, you're walking on a very thin line.
I love what you said. And a lot of us, we are in this docile state where we are asleep and we don't really realize what type of actions we're taking every day. And I think there's two things. One thing you said, you had a lot of attachment to money. And so obviously money would kind of like be afraid of you, essentially.
Yeah.
So basically you had to let go of the outcome, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah, that too.
And from what you mentioned as well, the catalyst of change had to do with someone else telling you something that you either had to get rid of or had to do better. And that was for you, Junior, who is an amazing mentor to each and every one of us, who have taught us how we can possibly become the highest version of ourselves by giving us the cold, hurtful, and bare truth. So What were some truth that you discovered about yourself that Junior has kind of brought up to the surface in order for you to, step to that next level? Because going from literally getting paid, $7 an hour at Dunkin' Donuts to now being able to have the freedom to travel, it's a huge difference. So can you share with me a little bit about what were some of those truths that he showed you about yourself, which you knew you had to become aware and basically change in order for you to let go of the old and allow the new to come into your life?
Mm-hmm. I would say really, I'm so grateful for Junior for giving me the cold hard facts. There's probably been many times where I've probably cried tears, not because of like he's saying something hurtful, but just because I'm like, oh, shoot, like, yeah, I really need to change a lot. But I think really just listening to people like Junior and like realizing that, okay, they're the ones that are successful. They are people who are giving to people. And like, they're the ones that are really doing the most, for people. So then listening to the things that he said about money, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that gives a whole different perspective because you're actually in a position of a multimillionaire, which is where I want to be at. Right. And so a lot of those things that he said to me, are just basically complete opposites of, what I was talking about. Like, the actual truth is that money is inherently good. Right? Money is something that is very good, and people can corrupt that. But the truth is that finances in and of itself is a very good thing, and you shouldn't feel a negativity towards it. Something he also said too, which you touched on, is you have to be like detached from money. And I know Junior has shared this in like his journey to success when he was like homeless. And he said, one of the reasons why he feels like he was so successful, like at a fairly quick rate as well, is the fact that he was so giving and so like detached from his money in a way. Like, he fully wanted to help people and be so focused on helping people, but not focused on the money. And I think for myself, I always thought that I was focused on wanting to help people. And in my mind, I'm like, well, if money isn't involved, if you're not trying to chase money, then you're trying to help people. But I mean, you're not making any money. But the reality is that when you're in a position doing, a lot of the things that we're doing here, if you're so focused on helping people, the money is eventually just going to happen. The money is just going to come. And I think that was a really big game changer for myself, was when I realized, just go out there, help as many people as possible. Like, you do have value to give to people, and the money's just going to come. Like, you don't even have to worry about it. And so I really appreciate that from Junior. As soon as I stopped stressing out about money and stopped stressing out about my finances, that's when everything started to happen. Because for everyone else here that's watching this, who's come from the same background as me, like pretty poor, we like to think that, we don't want money, but we live our entire lives every single day worried about money. Right?
Yep.
Like, every waking moment, we're stressed out about money. So how does that, right? How does that mean that we aren't focused on money or, all these, things that we're typically told, right? So as soon as I actually did have that attachment of, okay, I'm going to forget that money exists and just help people, that was what then resulted in me being able to get to like my first 5K in a week.
That is so much gold in there. And I want to kind of break up a little bit of what you said, because that was a lot of information. So number one, a lot of people are actually addicted to stress and they do not even know it.
Yes.
And so I think one of the most important shifts that you had within yourself was to have a different perspective on how to look at life differently. So instead of looking at it from a perspective of being stressed about money, you switched it. From my understanding, you switched that to basically saying, okay, if the more money I could make, the more impact I could make, the more problems I can solve. So therefore, it's no longer stressful. And so I think a lot of what we learned from Junior really is about perspective. And another thing you said was money is good. And one of the beliefs that I've heard about is money is the root of all evil. But in reality, what that is such a lie, such a false belief. And if you have that belief, please get rid of it right now, because the person you are right now, whether you have $1 million or you have $0, money does not change you. You only amplify who you are with money. So if you're a person that's giving, and this is where we see evidence of, when Junior was homeless, even though he was homeless, he would still give to the homeless. he was still happy. And so when Junior became the successful man that he is today, he actually is still giving to people, hence the reason we are all here. And he is still happy and creating impact. So money really does amplify who you are as a person. So don't think that money will change people. No, I think that's a really big misconception and a huge lie that people have. And one other thing is, it's insane to me that people say, yeah, they want to get results, right? But you want, not results. People want to make an impact in the world, yet they don't want to work for the results. Hence the reason the action is right behind me. Because a lot of people think that it's just going to be like, and it's just going to come, but that's not what it is. And I feel like I feel like what Junior does to us is really, first of all, he makes us do the action, and then he does the mindset afterwards. Mm-hmm. So, because if you're not constantly doing something, at least like that, just a little bit every single day, focusing on your progress and not focusing on being perfect. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I have learned is from Junior, is just focus on the progress. Don't focus on being perfect, because when you're perfect, what happens, Abigail?
Well, then there's nothing more to be done if you're perfect.
Exactly.
Perfection doesn't exist.
Exactly. But procrastination does. And actually what perfection causes is procrastination. Mm-hmm. So I want you to tell me a little bit about the moment, the contrast between how you felt working at Dunkin' Donuts and how you felt the moment you were able to come home and bring to your parents $5,000, right? And how was that moment like for you? Well, sorry, let's go back. Tell me how did you feel when you used to work at Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah, so I worked at Dunkin' Donuts for 3 years. It was like my first official job that I had. And it was, it taught me a lot of life experiences, and I was always taught someone to like have a good work ethic. So, wherever I was at, I always wanted to do the best that I could. And so actually, while I was at the latter end of Dunkin's, that was when I started on like my self-growth journey, which is ultimately what led me to becoming an entrepreneur, affiliate marketing. But I remember being there, and like I would come in at like 5 a.m. and I'd be listening to like my worship music, and I'm like, oh yeah, today's such a great day. This is awesome. I'm gonna like just be so happy giving people coffee. Like it's just gonna be a really great day. But the problem happens is that when you are surrounded, this is about like, we could do a whole video on just who you surround yourself with. But I'm in an environment where every other person that's working there, and most of the people who are coming through are negative people who hate their lives and are always looking at the worst, right? So I come in all excited and happy and positive and genuinely wanting to do something great there to the best of my ability. But it only takes like 2 hours into it being super busy and everyone's really negative that it's like, okay, this is really, really, really hard to keep at this. And, just really coming home, like, it's crazy being on your feet for that long period of time, working minimum wage and coming home and being still like so exhausted. Like I would be like always like taking naps just because I was so exhausted just from working at Dunkin' Donuts. And just really not like, I knew I was made to do something else with my life, but I really had no idea what that was. But yeah, it definitely wasn't, on so many different levels, it was not a great environment. I definitely was not fulfilling much in my life being there.
But the best part was that you were able to make the best out of being surrounded by negativity. I think that is one of the, that's one of the challenges.
Yes.
To not allow your exterior environment affect you on the inside. How challenging was that?
Extremely challenging. I mean, I wouldn't say I even won that game because it was just so like up and down, up and down, because it's really hard to be positive when everyone else is negative. But I am actually grateful for that, because it really taught me, because I remember so many shifts where the entire shift, it's not this problem or that problem, it's me inside my own head battling it out, positive, negative. And I feel like that was really the really like battleground of like where all of this started. And I wanted to add one thing too that really got my wheels turning on was my last day at Dunkin's. And actually the district manager was there. She was a really, really awesome lady. And she came over to me. She goes, hey, she's like, we're really sorry to see you leave. Like, you're really awesome and you really contribute a lot here in your positivity. She's like, but I know you're made for something way more than being here. She goes, I don't know what it is, but you're going to do something really awesome in the world. But go out there and figure it out.
Oh, that's amazing. That actually gave me chills right now, because sometimes you really, all you need is that desire within yourself to know like, holy crap, like I haven't been giving the best of myself here, and my calling is much more greater than honestly just serving coffee and donuts. Let's not forget about the donuts.
And like I knew that, but again, I want to encourage people that it's not like I had anything really figured out at that point. It was just the desire at that point, like what you were saying.
Exactly. And then you were able to take action towards finding something better. And then eventually you found it. And I think one of the things that you said was being surrounded by constant negativity. Sometimes you would give in to it, sometimes you wouldn't. And you mentioned about this battle in your head. It's you versus you. And I think when people get to a point in entrepreneurship where they're a little bit higher than everyone else, they tend to understand that concept that it's not you versus the world. It's you versus your future self. So the self that you want to become and the self that you currently are. And what I like to say about that is a lot of the times we really don't like changing because, our brains don't like change. So biologically, we don't like change. And what I tell people, I heard this one time and I'll never forget it. The only people who like being changed is a baby with a diaper, with a wet diaper. Those are the only people that want to change. And so I also have that battle within myself. And I just picture this. One is a goddess and the other one is someone like Maleficent looking, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
And so one of them is like, you can't do this. You're not good enough. You're not this. And the other one's like, yes, you are. You are powerful. You can do this. You are worthy. So would you be able to tell me a little bit about some of the conversations that you have in yourself before we continue on to the second question that I had, the other question? Some of like that inner conversation that you have with you versus you.
Yeah. Very similar to the whole Maleficent and goddess conversation. But one of the things that I would tell myself, and actually it's very interesting, no one ever told me this growing up. No one ever told, like, unlike some other people, and I know you shared some of your story with me, Evelise, I never had anyone tell me to my face, hey, you're stupid. But somehow, some way that got into my head. And so all throughout high school, and then going...
I think your internet broke off a little bit. Can you repeat that last part?
Yes. I was going to say, I'm not sure where I broke off at, but I wanted to say that No one ever told me growing up, like to my face, like, oh, you're stupid. But somehow that got filtered down into my brain that I'm stupid just based off of, how I did in school, looking at my friend group and all my other friends, they were popular. I wasn't. I was awkward. No one really liked me, all that sort of stuff. So that was one of the things going on in my head was that, oh, I'm stupid. I'm not going to be able to do anything with my life. I'm someone who just, I'm lazy. I'm scared. Like I literally can't do anything because I'm always scared to do anything. I'm scared even to get my driver's license because I just hate doing anything new with my life. It's just the world just feels like a scary place. How the heck am I going to be able to do something? So that was very much my negative. Honestly, the course of like, I would wake up in the morning. Those are the first thoughts that pop into my head. Right. But slowly over time, I started to be able to say more of the empowering thoughts to myself. And it really is just, it's a muscle. Like you have to view doing the inner work as like going to the gym. At the beginning, I've had many people say, oh, well, saying those things to myself, that doesn't work. And I'm like, well, yeah, it didn't work for me in the beginning either, because you can't just go to the gym and start lifting 100 pounds. That's just not how it works. Right. But slowly over time, the positive wins over the negative.
Yes, I really love the fact that you said that because it really is a gym. And what's crazy, what you are describing really are habits. So it's progress that turns into habits. I literally had to pause and literally run upstairs and get this book because precisely this morning, I found a book, which, by the way, we will be reading in book club. And if you'd love to be able to be part or see for yourself, part of the community, I would totally recommend you to come to our book club so you can learn and start, like Abigail was saying, kind of like exercising that muscle that you can do this, that you can get results with affiliate marketing, that you are good enough. So it says, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. And it says, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. And a lot of us ask ourselves, why does my life suck so bad? Why can't I get results? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? And it clearly draws back into what actions are you taking? Who you are as a person? What is your character? What are your thoughts about specific things? Like Abigail was saying, what are some beliefs that are limiting to becoming the highest version of myself that has absolutely everything I ever wanted? And so I think that was really amazing that you were able to mention that, because a lot of us, like I said, we're really not aware of these things. So thank you so much, Abigail, for mentioning that. I do believe that this will help a lot of people out there that are trying out affiliate marketing, but they're wondering, why am I not getting results? And inside of our community, we're like, why am I getting so many results?
Exactly.
So I will be leaving a link down below for you guys to check out. You can email me. I'll leave my email down, and you guys can email me that you would love to be part of the community. It is a paid program, but thank you, Junior, for being able to sponsor 14 days free trial for you guys to come and start to change your life. Another thing I wanted to go ahead and ask you is my other question, which was, how did you feel when you were, for the first time, being able to bring $5,000 with affiliate marketing to your family? Can you share a little bit? Because I thought it was hilarious what you told me your mom reaction was. So I want everyone to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy actually. Like I remember that week, it was already like halfway through the week and I already made like a lot of money, like more than I had in the week. But I was like, I'm gonna not tell anyone and just see what happens the rest of the week. But I remember telling my mom, and my mom was like freaking out, like in a cool way. And I remember, I wanted to wait till like the very, very end of the week to tell my dad, because I wanted to like tell him like the highest number sort of thing. But she was like, when are you gonna tell him? When are you gonna tell him? Like, please tell him. Anyways, so I remember it was like really distinct when I went and told my dad. I remember my dad was actually lying down. He was taking a nap, but I like knocked on his door. I'm like, Dad, I was like, can I come tell you something? And he's like, yes. And he like literally, when I told him, he literally like jumped up out of the bed and he was like, what? And you know, I would say like for my parents, like my parents, I would say were pretty supportive, especially my mom. My dad doesn't understand it still, but that was like really the key moment when he was like, okay, wow, like, okay, this does work. She is making it happen, and like really having another level of belief in this. So it was really a surreal experience to be able to do that. Like every single person wants to be able to tell, like whether that's friends or family or someone you care about, that you were able to do that, and now you have a way to be able to help them out, right? And that was always just a dream, and it's not always something that I was like, man, am I really going to be able to do something like that? So to be able to actually have done that, I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, you can't make this up. Like I really was someone for a really long time, for everyone watching this, I didn't think I was going to become an entrepreneur with anything. And I never thought that affiliate marketing was going to work for me, because I had done this for such a long time and had already invested so much money into this with no return, really no help at all. So I just want to encourage you guys, because trust me, I was in your position where I didn't think that this would actually work for me.
Wow, that was super awesome. I'm sorry, guys. I thought that was her mom, but it was actually her father.
Yeah.
I think it is very important for people to know and understand that it's not that affiliate marketing doesn't work. It's can you make it work? Because your father had his certain beliefs about affiliate marketing. You were extremely lucky to actually have your mom there by your side and being an example for you as an entrepreneur herself. But your dad actually has those doubts. And I know that a lot of like, let's say people who are hopping in the affiliate train, they have those family members who don't believe in none of this craziness or magical stuff that we call voodoo. Just kidding.
We swear it's not voodoo.
Yeah, just swear it's not voodoo. It's our own magic stuff, good stuff. But essentially, you made it happen, and immediately your father started believing in affiliate marketing just a little bit more. So I think that is really important for people to start becoming aware that it's not that specific, it's not that affiliate marketing really doesn't work, is that you have to make it work for yourself. And it will take a lot of changing and transforming inside of you so you can start getting those results and start seeing results for yourself. So I really appreciate so much, that you were able to come on here, because I do believe that your story is truly powerful, because there's so many college students that are completely broke out there, depressed and sad and have no purpose and are looking to better their life. And, when they're looking for affiliate marketing, they're doing a bunch of things, but yet they don't have any results, and then they end up quitting. So I want you to give, maybe one last advice for them, and maybe something that could possibly be able to help them in this journey.
My number one tip, which is, really how I was able to make all this work, and like Evelise was just saying, it's not that affiliate marketing doesn't work, it's about us. But I would also say in the same vein, the biggest thing that really worked for me that allowed me to be able to make this work for myself was that I found the who that knows the how, and I found that someone that would actually give me the real raw guidance and the hands-on guidance and support and the actual information. There's a lot out there, but I would say like that was my the biggest thing that really transformed everything was really Junior, and like how authentic and how he actually helped me, and so many others. One other thing I'll say too is really just commit wholeheartedly. Like if you want to be able to make something like this work for yourself, commit all the way, take the risks, do whatever it takes, invest the money that you don't have. That's really the only way that you're going to be able to make it work. You can't get results if you're wanting to put in the work, but you're not going to be able to, spend any money. Or if it's the other way around, you want to spend the money, but then you don't want to put the work in. It's really, I can confidently say my lifestyle now, I'm a completely different person. My life looks completely different than it used to. I don't want it any other way. But it really is a whole life commitment to being able to make all this work.
That is some amazing advice. Thank you so much, Abigail. This was a really action-packed and awareness-packed episode. I really, really do appreciate your time. And for those of you that are watching this and you are lost and you still haven't had any results and you have no idea why, it's probably because someone hasn't really told you what it is that you're doing wrong. So if you guys do want more information, you can actually email us below. I'll leave all the information down below so you guys can do that. And remember that the version of you that gets all the results and has everything you want is just one click away. Awesome. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, Evelise.